Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to my channel, Booked Line and Sinker. Today I want to talk to you about a topic which is really close to my heart, and that is how to get your kids to start reading. Now, I have two girls, 6 and 10 years old, and they're both voracious readers. However, this did not happen by chance. I had to strategize and think up of ideas of how to get them to pay attention to books and read books instead of watching TV or the iPad or any other screen which might be vying for their attention. Well, today I'm going to share with you 7 tips and tricks which have worked for me to inculcate this beautiful habit into my girls, and I hope if you use them in your life, they help you out as well. If you're new here, I'm Nimisha. I'm a voice artist and a book lover, and on this channel we have inspiring conversations about books and all things related. So if you're looking for book recommendations, reviews, reading tips, all about Indian and foreign authors, then please do subscribe to my channel and don't forget to turn on the notifications because I take out a new video every week. Well, without further ado, let's get into today's video. My first tip is start early. Now, so many of us make the mistake of starting to read to our kids when they are maybe 1 or 2 years, once they start learning the alphabet or start speaking. Well, I would strongly suggest that if you're a new mother, you should start reading to your kids as early as 6 months old. Now, the child's brain is developing at an amazing speed, and it is able to absorb so much stimulus at that young age that you will be shocked and surprised at how quickly the kid starts absorbing the books that you offer them. I would suggest start with 4 to 5 page long board books because the attention span of kids of that age is of course really small. So that length works for them perfectly. Now, for those of you with older kids, you must be wondering what's in this for me. Well, I have a lot of suggestions for you as well, so watch till the end of the video because the later tips which I'm going to suggest for you are also applicable to older kids. My second tip is join a children's library. Now, you'll be surprised at the number of kids' libraries which exist in every city and most areas. I live in Mumbai and I've shifted my house multiple times in different localities of the city, and I've managed to find a kids' library in every area. The simple fact is, the more you expose your kids to books, the more they're going to enjoy the process of reading. I would suggest take your kids to the library, let them absorb the atmosphere, allow them to choose the books which they want to issue, and maybe bring 4 or 5 books and then read it to them. That brings me to my next tip. My third tip is create a reading routine. When you're trying to inculcate the reading habit, it's important to push the habit into their daily routine. I would suggest demarcate half an hour in the day exclusively to reading and tell your kids that this is the time when they have to drop everything and just pick up a book. Whether it's before sleeping or during the evening, whatever time works for you. That brings me to my next suggestion. My fourth tip is replace screen time during food with books. Okay, we all know that kids are just difficult eaters, slow eaters, and it's so much easier to feed them when they're sitting in front of an iPad or a television. And so many of us resort to that because of the convenience that it provides. Now, I wanted to make a shift over there and reduce the screen time for my children, and that's when I decided to start reading to them on the dining table instead of giving them a gadget to look at. What I usually do is I get them to sit at the dining table, I take out one of their favorite books and I read to them while they are eating their food. This way they are absorbed in the story itself and create less of a fuss while eating. And also it accomplishes my side goal of keeping them away from a gadget. My fifth tip is give an incentive. Now, this one is a really cool one, and I'm sure it's going to work for kids of all ages. When I talk about an incentive, I don't mean offer a chocolate or a treat. What I mean is start a book allowance with your kids. What is a book allowance? A book allowance is a dedicated amount of money, maybe 300 rupees or 500 rupees or whatever works for you per month, which is allocated exclusively to buying books. So what I usually do is I take my kids to the bookstore and give them a free rein. Now, within that budget, whether they get 2 books or 1 book depends on the price of the book, but the budget is the cap and it doesn't change. So I think this kind of helps them develop some budgeting skills as well. My sixth tip is do not impose your bookish ideals onto your kids. Now this one is really important. So many of us who are readers or not readers expect our kids to be reading certain kinds of books. The kind of books which are ideal, maybe classics or certain authors which we approve of. I remember when I was growing up, there was a time when I was only reading Enid Blyton, not for months but for years on an end. I know it's hard and it's a struggle, but I would request you to restrain yourself at this point. So there is a trick which I use which often works for me. Every time I take them to a library or a bookstore, I tell them that out of 5 books that I'm going to buy them, 4 can be of their choice and 1 has to be of my choice. So I'll end up pushing in a classic or an Enid Blyton or any other author whom I think they should be reading at that age. So it turns out to be a win-win situation for both of us because they feel that they've got a majority choice and I feel that I managed to push in that one classic which I want them to read. My 7th tip is start a book club with your kids. Now for older kids maybe who are 8, 9, 10, this is very, very doable, and of course for older kids as well. Kids love the idea of being part of a reading community. Some kids don't like to read. Even they can be part of the book club because seeing each other, seeing their peers, this could motivate them to start reading. A book club exposes them to different genres and it also is a very, very intellectual exercise for the kids, which they really enjoy. So how it worked when I created a book club for my elder daughter was that we mums got together, and usually the book club meeting would happen at one of our place, and the discussion on the book would be for about 20 minutes, which would obviously be given direction by the mothers. We would suggest questions to them, and then after those 20 minutes, kids would be doing some activity, some exercise, something fun, because kids at that age still their attention span is not that high, and I think 20 minutes or 30 minutes at the max of discussion is their upper limit. I know this one sounds like a bit of hard work, and it is for mums and dads, because you too have to participate and lead the children a little bit in this exercise. However, kids really, really enjoy being part of a book club, and if you can, I would highly recommend creating one for your kids. I hope you enjoyed today's video and it helps you get your kids to start reading as well. I've got a few kids books resources in the description box, so please do check them out. I also do book recommendations and reviews, so please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe and follow me across social media, because I take out a new video every week and you don't want to miss it. Until the next book, bye-bye.